Hello, and welcome to Beyond Chronic Burnout, the podcast where we explore how to get out of burnout for good if you are neurodivergent or disabled and reclaim your energy and well being. I'm your host, Carole Jean Whittington, and today we will uncover the real differences between stress and burnout. Joining us is Lauren Hundert, a wellness expert and the owner of the Balanced Wellness Center. Lauren's passion is to help individuals and organizations find the support and resources they need to thrive. With certifications in multiple wellness modalities and extensive experience, Lauren has created a center that uniquely combines personal and professional development, data analytics, and is centered on a strong network of contributing experts. In today's episode, Lauren shares her own burnout experience, reflecting on how she initially dismissed her stress, thinking, "What's the big deal? Everyone has stress." She reveals how stress manifested in her body in unexpected ways and discusses the fears that prevented her from seeking balanced wellness, including the thought, "How will it look if I don't do this?" So get ready for an engaging discussion that promises to offer valuable takeaways for anyone struggling with stress and burnout. Stay tuned and let's dive in.
You're feeling worn out, tired and blue. Lost your spark, don't know what to do. Carole Jean got the podcast for you. Unleash your fire, let it shine on through. Beyond chronic burnout, you'll rise. Sustainable energy in your eyes. A powerful leader you will be. Unlock your strength and feel so free. Tune into wisdom every week. Find that power you truly seek. Rise above the burnout haze. Step into those bright days.
Lauren, welcome to the show. I am so excited to have you here. Guys, Lauren is going to be sharing with us her personal experience in burnout, but how do we bring balanced wellness into burnout? So we hear the term wellness all the time. We hear balance, and those things can really be kind of airy fairy and not have a whole lot of concrete meaning to us in our life. And Lauren's going to help us put some concrete context around balanced wellness. Welcome to the show, Lauren.
Thank you so much for having me, Carole Jean. I'm very excited.
So, Lauren, we talk about all these different aspects, but really, I think we got to talk about first and foremost what has been your personal experience of burnout, because I love to share everybody's different perspective and experience and their stories behind what burnout looked like, felt like, and how it showed up for them, because we all have a different one. And might not relate to somebody out there today, and yours might. So,
Mhm.
what has been your experience in burnout?
So first of all, I would say that I didn't know it was a thing for a really long time. um, and I just sort of thought it was stress, and everybody has stress, and what's the big deal? And why am I feeling a particular way about it? Why am I making it mean something? And then the more I leaned into it, the more research I did, the more people I spoke with, um, I realized that the way that burnout affects me is that it feels like the hamster wheel. It feels like there's so much to do. There's this real sense of overwhelm. And I have to do something, but I don't necessarily have the focus or the um, confidence that this is the thing I need to do. And so it just seems to kind of perpetuate that cycle and that wheel. Um, I also found that it shows up in a lot of different ways. It shows up physically within my body, which is something I hadn't, not until the last few years did I really start to pay attention to that, and how it would affect the way that I sit, and then the implications that that has for my body, the way that I carry myself, the way that I'm sleeping, the way that I'm feeding my body and fueling my body. I hadn't appreciated how all of those things can contribute.
Ooh, those are some big ones to start unpacking. I mean, when you talk about number one, not knowing it, I was like, oh yeah, been
Mhm.
there forever, and just kept thinking, oh, if I just push through and I just make it to the
Mm,
other side of like whatever that current project or
yeah,
task was, then I'll get a little rest and it'll be okay. This is just part of, you know,
the
being
life
an
experience.
adult.
Yeah, yeah, totally.
Right? And
Mhm,
then it's this subtle like, I recently had, I say those external signposts. Well, I had one of those external signposts show up, but I didn't realize it right away when
mhm.
I started to notice, oh, my food choices were changing. So I've
Oh,
added that to my signpost list now
yeah, yeah, yeah,
because I thought, oh, I had gotten into this really healthy, really nutritious
yeah,
eating
very true.
style for years. And then all of a sudden, I have a
Mhm.
big stress that came in, and I was like, "Oh, I'm eating way more chips, and I don't normally eat chips."
Hmm. Isn't that interesting how that works too? Because I go the opposite way. When I'm really stressed out, I don't eat anything. Anything. The idea of it makes me feel sick. Um, that's not good, right? Like any rational Lauren version would be like, heads up, right? That's not normal. And so I've learned to pay attention to those kinds of things. And I've also learned to pay attention to the what's the word I'm looking my inactivity level, right? What I'm feeling like I would just no, I can't take a break, or no, I need to be busy. I need to prove that I am busy. I need to I know that I should go out and do this thing. I should go out for a walk, but I have things to do.
Oh, see, you just tapped into that internal piece. So I hear like those thoughts of like, "Oh, I should do this. Oh, I need to be busy. I need to be productive."
Mhm.
And it's in burnout, we have these things and we don't even realize it, that we have these thought patterns. So, like, what are the thoughts, like, looking back
Mm.
that you can go, "Oh, that was a thought that was coming up a lot. I was saying that to myself."
Oh, hmm. I think probably first and foremost would be just exactly around that would be I'm too busy to fill in the blank, or how will it look if I don't do this, or
Ooh.
mhm, mhm.
Oh,
And
that's a
to
big one.
whomever. Yeah. How will it look to my family? How will it look to clients? How will it look to, whomever? And it's especially challenging being in the health and wellness space because you know this. Like, I know better. And because I know better, I should do better. Um, and I would say that too, looking for the vocabulary, which is like the
Mhm.
coulda, woulda, shouldas.
Ooh, definitely, and that shame storm and the whole guilt, and it's just like
Mhm.
there's this whole 'nother level to the health and wellness space when you're, a care provider
Mhm.
in one way or another, be it, a yoga instructor or a breathwork teacher or, a physician or
Mhm.
radiologist in all of these things. It's like we intellectually on a concept basis, we understand this, but we're human.
Yeah.
And our
Yeah.
awareness of when the and how these things show up for us can be different than what we read about somebody else's experience.
Yeah. And what's interesting too is I started to apply this practice a couple of years ago when I started to notice, especially the coulda, woulda, shouldas. I That was my cue to myself to say, okay, so stop talking to you like you're you. And what would your best friend say to you right now? Like, if you're not,
Mm.
don't listen to the irrational side of you. But what would the compassionate version of Lauren say to herself right now?
Oh, wow. That's that is so big. Because how many of us allow ourselves to be compassionate
Mhm.
within?
Oh, right?
Yes, that was the dog saying, "Yes, we agree." She agreed wholeheartedly with that. Lauren, what what brought you finally
Mm,
out of sort of the I just gotta keep pushing. I should be doing this, all of that. What brought you to the awareness? What finally hit home that was like, holy cow, this is burnout and I really got to pay attention and do something different. How did you get to that point, or where were you when you went, ah, light bulb?
So it was developing the Balance Wellness Center. And it was, uh, I suppose I put a lot of stock in professionals to tell me what I should know about myself.
Oh,
um,
yeah.
so as I was going through some of the courses, because I mean, running a platform, of course, I have to go through all of the courses and take them and make sure that I'm on board with everything that people are saying, um and test it out, right? And it was really through going through those courses that I can't even tell you, oh my gosh, Carole Jean, how many aha moments, as it were, that I've had working through this platform and through the practitioners that we have. And it's anything from our massage therapy course to our resilience course and our momentum course and our even the ones that I've created myself, where I kind of sat back and had to think about, being having an objective mind more than an emotional mind, and allowing
Oh,
myself
yeah.
the grace to know the difference. Um, but I would say
And what's
really,
the
it's
difference
really,
on that one? Like,
ooh,
what's the difference?
the difference would be in an emotional state, I can make a story out of anything. Right? So if I, so this, for example, this lipstick, my daughter got it. I took it from her. I don't intend to give it back to her. I'm just going to keep it at my desk because I like it. And sometimes I'll look at it and I'll be like, oh, I am a thief. And I took this from her. I don't plan on giving it back. Poor thing. She doesn't even know. Right. And I can make it mean something and I can beat myself up for it. And think about the number of times that we do that with anything. Right. Whereas if I look at it with an objective mind, I'm like, it is pink. It is plastic. It comes apart, right? There's no story other than what is actual about it. And so that's something that I've put into place for myself is when I find that I'm getting in a story about something or I'm getting really worked up and overwhelmed by something, I try to just sort of take a step back and say, okay, what emotion am I bringing to this that is maybe not actually accurate or even there? And how can I look at it with a more objective lens and get myself back on track without getting all worked up about things?
Wow. That is huge. That is huge. I have to say the experience that I had in a similar
Mhm.
unpacking of that was empowering in the sense that I reclaimed my personal power. Like somebody didn't give it to me, but I took it back
Wow.
because I there was so much disempowerment. I was giving away my personal power to all of these huge emotions that felt like they were so big I couldn't navigate them, and they were either made me so wildly uncomfortable or I had no language to put around it or context, because sometimes they would process outside of the context of whatever the emotion was really activated by. And so then you get in those
Yeah.
thought loops, and those are exhausting. And so all of that's just leading to more burnout, more
Yeah.
depletion of your energy bucket. So that is
Yeah.
massive.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And once you the nice thing is, once you catch yourself in it, like, once you have the awareness of being able to look from the outside in, it's not necessarily that it's gonna go away, but when you know about it, you can try to do something.
Hey everyone, we're taking a short break from the conversation because I have something really special to share with you. If your brain feels like mush or stuck in overdrive where your thoughts feel like they're stuck on a never ending loop, and everything from bright lights to the smallest sounds from the next room are draining your last drop of energy and patience, it might be time to take a closer look at where you stand on the burnout scale. Introducing the Spicy Pepper Burnout Quiz. This isn't your average burnout test. Our quiz dives deep, looking at 8 different impact areas of burnout, including your sensory system, communication, and sleep. It's specifically designed for those who are neurodivergent and or disabled, recognizing the unique challenges we face. Wondering how spicy your burnout is? Find out if you're a poblano pepper level 1, where you feel just a bit of heat, or if you've reached the level 5 ghost pepper, where you're so hot, you're not. Not only will you discover your burnout level, you'll also receive personalized insights to help you start your journey to energy mastery. So, what are you waiting for? Take the first step towards reclaiming your energy and well being. Head over to whittingtonwellbeing.com and take the spicy pepper burnout quiz today. Trust me, your future self will thank you. Now, back to the show.
you know?
Oh my gosh, yes. So as you were recognizing, going through all of the courses for your platform, because you have this incredible wellness platform, which I love, love, love. And your course on self care, y'all, you know what I say about self care crap. Hers is not. Hers is actually the real deal stuff. It is so good. I
Thank
was
you,
just
Carol.
telling her before we got on the call, I'm like, okay, I look at this stuff all the time. This is really good. So what did you discover? Like, how did you finally go, "Oh, wow, it wasn't just me, you know,
Mm.
not sleeping or eating enough or exercising often enough. Like, there's some other layers. Like, this is I've been experiencing burnout." Where did that kind of hit for you in that process?
Cool. Oh, that's a big one. It feels so profound to even answer the question because I don't even know where to trace it back to. You know what I mean? It's just always been latent, I guess. Um, and yeah, I'm still not really sure. Like I know how to address it and I know how to recognize it. I'm not sure where it kind of first began. I don't know that I can separate myself enough from it to be able to see that there was something that kind of instigated it. Um, but I'm just so grateful now that I know that I can see the warning signs. And what did you call them? You call them your um,
So there's internal warning signs and then there's
mhm,
external signposts.
journal signposts. I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that I find it has been so helpful for me, and I hadn't thought of it in those terms, but that's exactly what it is.
Oh, yeah. That is so good. So all of the things that you were putting together at the Balanced Wellness Center have really contributed to your journey to energy mastery and getting out of burnout and being this magical, thriving human in the world because you are delivering an incredible platform to companies and individuals to really begin to step into the same place. So when
Mm.
we talk about balanced wellness, what does that really mean, Lauren?
Ooh, I'm so glad you asked that. Because we hear this concept of work-life balance, and people will feel strongly or not strongly one way or another about it. The idea behind the Balance Wellness Center really was to address what are those everyday struggles and celebrations that are happening, right? Where we could use some support. So whatever is happening, like let's not pretend whatever is happening in my personal life, of course, is showing up at work and vice versa. We know that this is happening. And the way that I like to think about work-life balance is that um, people have a tendency to think it's all or nothing, right? And it's jumping around from place to place and one thing at a time. And that jumping back and forth, that's what's exhausting. That's imagine like switching your focus and your brain and your energy from one to another constantly. It's exhausting. The way that I look at it is I put all of my attention one place unless and until it's demanded otherwise. So I'll give you an example. So I'm at home and I'm deep into work, right? Like not even checking my phone, just sort of getting things done. And then I get a notification and it's the school that's called. And then as soon as that happens, right? My kids, something's going on with my kids. So then I take a moment, take a pause, literally push myself away from the computer for a moment, refocus my energy. Okay, what's the situation? What do we need to deal with? They're sick. Okay. And then, of course, there's a moment in my mind like, but I have things to do. And how dare they? How dare they interrupt my day when I have so
This
much
is going to
going on?
derail everything else for the rest of the day.
Right. But that is
But
something
bless your
that
heart, I'm sorry you're sick.
that's it. But that is something that does demand my attention, and it's the ability to recognize those moments and be able to prioritize yourself accordingly. To know this is something that does demand my attention and this is something that can wait. So that we can maintain our energy and we can maintain our focus in whatever area it is that we chose to prioritize at that time. Um, so that's the way
So
I
you're
like to look
really
at it.
talking about flexibility, but
Mhm.
also knowing and having clarity on what you value.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. Mhm.
Wow. Okay, that's massive. That's huge. I mean, those are some of the foundational components that I teach in the unveiling method. And you have
Beautiful.
this wonderful platform called the Balanced Wellness Center. So what do you offer in there?
Mhm.
What are the things that people can get to start to bring those awarenesses into their life?
Yeah. So we offer two primary portals. So we have health and wellness, and we have emotional regulation. And the idea behind it is when we're in these moments of needing support, there are a lot of thoughts that can go along with them. And there are a lot of feelings that can go along with them. So our platform is totally confidential. So even if your employer purchases one of our memberships for you, they do not need to know what courses you are gravitating to. In fact, we won't tell them. We'll only report on trends that affect 40% of a working population or more. Because we have courses around pelvic floor health. We have courses around substance use and abuse. We have courses around anger, around menopause. So we want to make sure that that kind of information is being protected. And what's also really beneficial about the programming that we offer and the way that we offer it is that it's through online courses that are broken down. So there's videos, there's manual pages, there's reflections, there's quizzes. So it's engaging. But the idea too is that we're providing you with foundational information and tangible solutions so that you can actually put it into your daily life and you can start right now. An added bonus too is that, and I'm thinking here about our ergonomics course and about our massage therapy course in particular, is the instructors for those courses are experts and they provide you with the terminology and an understanding of what is actually happening in your body and providing you with the right language so that when you go to book an appointment, you're not spending half of your appointment just trying to explain what's happening. You already have the terminology, you already know what's going on in your body. So you can go and say, I'm experiencing an issue with trigger points. I need you to help me with this. Right? Um, so it's that foundational knowledge, and it's something that you can refer to whenever you want. We even have, I get really excited talking about it, Carole Jean, so you'll have to probably cut me off at some point, but
No, I love
through
it.
the
This makes me
platform,
happy.
good, good. So through the platform, we also have a search function. So let's say, because when you're in a moment of burnout or you're in a moment of overwhelm where you really need those resources, you do not want to sit through footage or any information that you don't actually need. So, for example, in massage therapy, like I just said, you could put in trigger points and it will populate. Every time Scott talks about trigger points, it will be there for you. So you have that information right at your fingertips. And it's a preventative kind of approach.
Nice. Oh, wow. Like, that is a gift. Having the ability to search and go find exactly what you need, or to
Mhm.
be able to start with something that's foundational so that you can gather and garner just the language
Yeah.
around something that somebody's defined it, and you're like, "Oh, that's what I've been experiencing. Okay, now let me go pop that term in the search and let me go learn a little bit more about it." Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
gold, my friend.
It's great. It's great, and I do have to give a shout out to Megan, who does all our program development. She is phenomenal, and she has tagged everything in the back end. It is a meticulous job, but that's the whole point, right? Is that we really want to be as useful and helpful as possible. Um, because when you're in those kind of moments, when you're really struggling or you're really celebrating something and you want to chase that feeling and embrace it and use it to create some momentum, you have that resource. We like to think of ourselves as like a medicine cabinet, right? So, like, what do I need? Oh, great.
I
Let
love
me check
that.
out some
Ease of
resilience.
use. Serve my wellness needs, make it easy and make it
Mhm.
fun as
Yeah.
well. And I love that there are so many fun things in your different course options. I mean, massage therapy, like how you can do that at home. I mean, oh
Mhm.
my gosh, there's some great tools in that toolbox.
There
There
are.
are some fun stuff. What are some of the things that are most fun to you? Like, what do you love? Like, if you're like, ooh, if I'm just having this kind of day, this is my go-to thing
As part of the platform or just in general
as
for
part of the
things that I'm
platform.
oh, as
Yeah.
part of the platform. Um, I do love the values exercises. I do love to refer to those. And There is so one thing that there are two things that I do on a regular basis. And one of them is I pick my top 5. So I have top 5 lists for various things. So some of them are top 5 playlists for pick emotion, insert emotion, and I've got a list for that. Um, and another thing that I do is I have what I call my good girl file. So anytime that I get a compliment, anytime we get a great testimonial, I'm very much a words of affirmation kind of person. So I put that in an email in a folder, and if I'm having a bad day, I pull that up, right? Or if I just need a little pick me up, or I need that kind of encouragement, because I mean, let's be real. It's one thing to talk to yourself really nicely, and it's very, very important. But sometimes it just means that little bit extra when it comes from somebody else. So I like to have those on hand.
Oh, I love that. That is so important. So if you do not have your special file, go start one today. This is a
Mhm.
really great idea, and it's a tool that actually I started because of Lauren sharing that with me a few weeks
Oh,
ago.
fabulous. Oh,
So
I'm so glad to hear
and
that.
I went out on a limb last week because I was doing a particular project, and, part of it was, "How do other people describe you?" And I was like,
Mm,
"I don't know, I mean, I kinda think it's like this." And I was like, "Wait a minute, why am I guessing?" And then
yeah.
it took a lot of courage, it took a lot of vulnerability and bravery, and I sent out a ton of messages to a bunch of friends and colleagues, and I said, "How would you describe me to someone who had never met me before?" And I got all of these messages back. Not one person didn't reply, and I
Hmm.
have to say that receiving that was one of the most beautiful experiences that had I not had that conversation with you, I don't know that I would have thought of it or been brave enough to ask other people to share that with me. And it was just really so energizing and also just such a blessing in my heart.
Oh, that's wonderful. Good for you for doing that too, because it's one thing to have the idea. It's quite another to actually execute. And to your point, be vulnerable and put yourself out there like that. Oh, I'm so glad you did that, Carole Jean. That's so great.
Well, that's just you, Lauren. That was your trickle down. So, Lauren, how can people find you? How can they go check out the Balance Wellness Center?
They can find me on LinkedIn. That's the best place. And I'm always open to connections and chats. And so let's start there. And yeah, feel free to send me a message. And if anyone wants to grab a virtual coffee and learn a little bit more, I would love to connect.
Fantastic. So, you do this for individuals and companies, is that correct?
We do. Yes. Yeah.
Fantastic. So don't feel like you just have to have it through your company. If you want it on your own and you also want to bring it to your company, get in touch with Lauren. The Balance Wellness Center is really phenomenal. I love it. I have been diving into and really enjoying her self care course in particular. Guys, thank you so much for being here. Lauren, thank you for being our guest and sharing those elements of burnout that we don't always think about in that experience of I just should be doing this, or I just need to make it to that next point, or what would someone think? Holy
Hmm.
cow, such massive insights, and especially that distinction in our emotional and our rational thinking and separating that out.
Mm.
Oh my gosh, such
Yeah.
gold here today. Guys, thanks for being here. Thanks for joining us. Stick around and catch the next episode next Tuesday. Thank you so much for joining us today on Beyond Chronic Burnout. I hope you feel energized and ready to take on the challenges ahead. Remember, you are not alone in this journey. Let's stay connected. Go follow me over on Instagram at Carole Jean Whittington, where you can join our Beyond Chronic Burnout channel for personal messages from me each week and subscribe to the podcast for more conversations and burnout insights. Together, we'll continue to break out of burnout and unlock our authentic selves. Until next time, this is Carole Jean Whittington signing off. Stay compassionately curious, my friends.
Hey there, friend, it's time to start again. With Carole Jean by your side, burnout fades. In the safe space we reside, you showed up today in every single way. Take a breath and know he'll stay. Thank you for being here. You're more than enough already. just as you are, my friend. Take it easy, you are worthy, never too far. Ooh, never too far.